Hello and welcome back. This is going to be part 3 of this All Signs Next 48 reading, which is a first, and, well, it's interesting, so I'm going to go ahead and go with it, so I hope you enjoy. And, well, there's a couple of things that have come in while I was uploading the first two halves so that I had the space to do part 3. The first was that I thought it was interesting that I was talking about a Queen of Swords, who, she's the one that typically will do the cutoff, and then we had a cutoff. So it could be that either there has been a cutoff already, maybe that's some of that lack of contact that we noticed in on the hot topic of the deck, or it could be that that's coming. Either way, in upright, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It could be a good boundary that needs to be kept up. So if it's you, it might be a boundary that you're holding. The other thing I was going to say is that the Queen of Swords is also like... So you see that her hand is out, right? And it could, in some respects, it's like, come over here, let me knight you, sir, you know. And in other respects, it's come over here so I can cut you. Now, typically that's in reverse that we see that, but because this is the Queen of Swords, people can have that sort of a fear of her, even if that's not her intention. Even in upright, she's very stable. You know, she speaks the truth. She's very neutral. That's part of you see in the coloring in here. She's very neutral. But, you know, she's got some fieriness in her, and she's that kind of person that you... Well, it's like, for the most part, you trust her to be very discerning and very stable and very good, but there's always that little bit of wildness in there. And the swords are the first suits, too, so it's that youth of the suits, of the youth of the royalty. And she could also be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and very intellectual. And I mean, just considering what we have going on there, it could be that hermit, and this person is thinking about this person, or that if that's you, that you're thinking about this person. Or let's see what else we got here. Okay, so there could have been some sort of argument, or there will be some sort of argument, probably with an immature fire sign of some kind, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, or just an immature conversation. There's been delays, there's impetuousness, childishness, words that are coming out that just aren't, they're not helping anything, they're sort of reactive. Oh, well, that's an interesting one to come out as being underneath that one. Let me take a look again at the cards that came out. Page of Cups reversed, Five of Pentacles, Page of Swords reversed, the Hermit. Interesting. So if we look at these cards in the order that they came out, right? So this is our subconscious. This is kind of the background story, if you will. So an immature water energy, probably some apologies that need to be said. Somebody creative and artistic. Somebody who is playing wolf in victim's clothing, or wolf in beggar's clothing. There's some sort of spying going on, maybe privacy violations. And because of what the camera's doing, I'm just going to include that it's like, it's unclear. There's fog out there. But what's interesting is to have all this up here, and then we have the Hermit who is looking at all of this. Kind of looking to the past. And if you put that in order, that includes the Ace of Cups, which is like the beginning of emotional fulfillment, new love, could be old love, especially with the Hermit looking backwards. And you know what I'm kind of getting is this, there's somebody, it's either you or somebody that you know, who's being quiet right now. And Spirit is leading them to go within and really look at themselves and think about what makes them proud of themselves for real. Not prideful, not like, oh, look, I got this trophy and I'm so wonderful and all that stuff, but really proud of themselves. And it could be because you, or somebody that you know or they know, put up some healthy boundaries. that really caused them to stop and think about it. And it could have been after some harsh words, or maybe they rushed into a situation, or you rushed into a situation and didn't think everything through, and that's what caused man, woman, or non-binary, the Queen of Swords, either way, to put up a healthy boundary. Kind of like that scene was you shall not pass, but it kind of sounds like that, like you shall not pass. It's very calm. It's not invasive. It's not attacking. It's not controlling. It's not, you must come here and answer my riddle and go. It's just, you shall not pass right now. And behind those feelings is love, is emotional health, is a new beginning in that sense. I do want to see just a little bit what's behind that Ace of Cups. Okay. So, bad advice. Bad advice, an unhealthy third-party situation, some tower situations that were built on unstable ground and fell. And this is coming up behind that Ace of Cups, so I really think it's more the Hermit, it's more this person. Somebody, whether it's you or somebody that you know of, is thinking about how they left a situation where they could have had emotional fulfillment. They could have had that Ten of Cups, but they didn't. They jumped into some sort of contractual situation that was supposed to be financially beneficial, bring a little bit of emotional stability, and it did not. It did not bring this. It brought towers. It brought a whole bunch of earthquakes and aftershocks and things, and it brought delays. And it took a lot of people out of their divinity, their connection with their inner beings. This is some really big energy for 48 hours. It's really funny. I'm getting a sense some of this has already happened and some of this is coming in these next 48 hours, just FYI, I guess. But there's no consensus in this situation. There's a lot of people who don't agree, and I'm getting the sense that it's probably because of this person, whoever this is, that like keeps kind of like photobombing, like, oh, you're talking about temperance? Look at me, like something kind of like that. And because of that, there's a lack of ability to agree. And part of that is because Spirit is keeping it from that situation. In fact, that's what's really strong to say. If you feel like you've been blaming somebody, like maybe you're waiting on somebody in a third-party situation, or maybe you are in a karmic relationship and there is a third party who is waiting on you and you don't like that, or something along those lines, but that it's not the people in it. Spirit is saying, no, this is not, whatever this arrangement is not supposed to work. And the all of you are in different timelines. You came together for some sort of small piece, a learning lesson of some kind. And so no matter how much you try to force it, it's not going to manifest. This situation, whatever this charitable, overgiving situation, is not going to last. It's not going to bring peace. But I get the sense, though, especially because this didn't come out like this, it came out like this, that I'm getting the sense of two things. One is that people involved in this situation, in this telenovela, are starting to gain peace of mind in the understanding that, it's funny that I'm going like that, but look who it covers up. It covers up the beggar, the one who's benefiting in that. And who does that leave behind? It leaves behind the person who is giving the money, the person who had the money taken from them, and that not happy King of Pentacles, or things like that. But there might be somebody being removed from a third-party situation of some kind, or removing themselves, or I don't know, somebody who was benefiting from it is not going to be in it much longer. Yeah, so I'm getting the sense that there's kind of I don't want to say a peace of mind. It's almost like an acceptance that the situation that has arisen whether it's you or someone you know, was not meant to be. It's not meant to stay. And it's kind of it's still kind of in a flowery stage. It's not making somebody happy. Maybe you or somebody you know invested in a situation that they thought would be emotionally fulfilling. They thought it'd be happy wife, happy life, happy all this stuff, and it's not. And they're coming into a state of balance and acceptance about that, but they're still really unhappy about it, which is understandable. I mean, especially if you get into if you get into a rebound situation where all your brain takes over and tries to keep you from experiencing a ton of like ego pain, and you go into displacement and you really convince yourself that the person you're with is everything you want and need and all that, and then you realize they're nothing like that, and that you were actually seeing in them what you had with somebody before, and that you were mad about some sort of situation and you jumped out and you created a big old mess, and now you got weeds all over in your garden, and all the what do you call it, the irrigation is messed up, and it's just, now you got to fix a whole bunch of things. You got plumbing problems, you got financial problems, and it's just not what you wanted it to be. And when you wake up to that, like, it's not like you just wake up and go, oh well, it wasn't meant to be, so I feel better now, goodbye. No, it's like, I manifested a mess, and now I got to figure this out with this person, and I got to sort out my feelings about all of it, because I thought, at least for a minute, I see that I was deluding myself, but I thought, at least for a minute, that it was going to be good, and now I'm feeling disillusioned, and I'm recognizing that I cannot have that Ten of Pentacles in this situation. So there's really, like, the more I delay it, the more delays are going to happen. I'm seeing there's not a way forward in it. I'm just going to keep giving, and probably not even having the assistance of whoever it is that I'm giving to, while I know that I'm taking. In fact, kind of the way that I'm seeing this, somebody's feeling guilty, I think, too. That you know what? I think that is this energy. Somebody's feeling guilty because they recognize that they've been taking from people who do actually need their assistance, their time, their attention, things like that. And they've been putting on this image of, oh, look at me, I'm so charitable and nice, and I'm following traditional norms, and I have a arrangement that is good, and don't you worry, I'll get it back to you, I'll talk to you, I'll pay you, I'll work it out, you'll be fine. This other person is closer to me, and they clearly need more assistance than you do, and so I'm going to give it to them. Like, they're putting on that image of that, but they're realizing they're not getting any sort of benefit out of it. They're actually, most of what people are seeing is an even more immature energy than where they're at. This is only a 6. But they're reduced to a 3 even, and they're not happy. They're not happy. They're feeling that karmic influence, or you're feeling that karmic influence of, like, what kind of a poop head am I to be doing this? Maybe even internal thoughts in that, like, I'm acting very childish, and I've manifested a situation where I'm hurting people, and that makes me feel really bad about myself. Yeah. It's interesting. I had the bottom of the deck. Usually I have it like this so that I can keep the cards in order, but I had it like this, and when I went to put this card down, I went to turn it over and ended up going like this, which is interesting because this can be in reverse. It can be a card of a manipulator. Somebody's trying to trick you. And that wanted to lay down right on top of this person, our little photo bomber person in there, who's probably also this person. So be aware, follow your intuition. Somebody may be trying to trick you. Even for that matter, because of the energies in the air and because of what Uranus typically does, you can be tricked by your own feelings, even your own intuitions. So do be cautious. Don't rush into anything. But also, just consider, is what you're fighting for worth fighting for? What are you getting out of it? Is it just a bunch of fighting? Or is there more that you get out of it? Do you get some kind of stability out of it? Either way, this is a pause, a reflection to think about what are we fighting against, you know? You can't see who's holding those sticks. There might not even be anybody. You could be fighting with nobody. But it looks like you're fighting with somebody. This could be the end of a commitment or a relationship of some kind. And that's probably part of why that Ten of Cups in reverse. Yeah. Considering that we're going backwards here, and, oh, interesting, because what I saw was that, the Ace of Wands, but that's interesting, so I'm gonna end it with the, oh wait, let's look, so that was that Page of Wands. It's a seed that was planted with a false flame. This is typically the twin flame card in upright, but a false flame, an unhappy home situation. Somebody has a house or has some sort of stability, especially communication-wise, but it's not kind communication. And it's interesting that this is, I'm getting the blur again here, so, and I didn't see her in there either when what I saw was that, and I thought that was right underneath that Page of Pentacles, and it wasn't. We had the two cards. Two cards hidden in there. And now they're a little bit clear, now that I have them together. So either there is somebody who has been presenting themselves as a Queen of Pentacles, earthy, charismatic, emotionally stable, good with resources, good with managing things, very kind and motherly, who is not. And for others, there's somebody else who is that person that you're looking back on, or somebody else is looking back on as the Hermit and thinking about, who came before this unhappy situation. And it could be that either you left the situation because you got pulled in by sexual desire or pretty words or the promise of a wonderful new start where all your dreams could come true. Or you recognize, or someone else is doing that, or you or they recognize that you could have had that. Could have had that. Could have had that with this person, earthy sign person, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, but didn't. Now there's an unhappy home situation, maybe even a divorce or breakup on the way. Somebody who wants to be single and free and to make small attempts to fix the situation. Maybe one where they made a mess when they should have been maturely focused on continuing to work on what they really love, and they didn't. They did this. And it's a bit of a fight to come out of that situation, but they're really considering, what makes me happy? What makes me feel like a good person? Who's had my back? Who do I want to have stand beside me in these battles? Somebody is tricking me or them. Somebody is not what they say they are. There might be, and this can often be, this is a Mercury card, so there could be some Gemini or Virgo traits in the person. I'm getting the sense more Gemini. This is like the negative traits of Gemini. Somebody who uses words and magic as trickery. And it might even be that you have a couple of people around you, like in this situation, that they're both asking for help and you're not sure which one really needs it and which one is tricking you. And it's upsetting. And clearly you can tell that the arrangement you're in either way is not meant to be. I think that you or this person has a sense of that, is recognizing that the situation is not meant to be as it is, but which one? Which one? Because this third-party situation that you're in is making things even more unclear. It's not stable. It was never meant to be. It was just supposed to be temporary. But there was supposed to be love. But it wasn't you know? Sometimes it looked like it was, and sometimes it looked like it wasn't. But who is it that holds your cup, or holds their cup? Somebody who can't speak until they know who it is that holds the cup. And somebody's holding up boundaries, and that's making it difficult to a degree, because in this energy, you or they might be feeling like somebody who upholds boundaries is just a jerk, which isn't the truth. Somebody who upholds boundaries is actually way better for you, if you're creating reasons that there need to be boundaries. Or likewise, if somebody is acting like this because you have created boundaries, then that was the exact reason that you needed them. Boundaries are good. Now, you don't want too rigid of boundaries. They should be flexible, but not porous. You should be in control of them and able to see when is okay to be flexible and when is not. And it's okay to sit alone at the table if you need to, because you don't need this. You don't need to be bombarded with victim and pity stories that leave you exhausted and drained and weeds in your garden. So it's a good time to think about the past. Think about who is being good to you and authentic and kind, and who is spying on you, violating your privacy, trying to cut away areas of your life when you're not looking, or make it difficult for you to enjoy them or deal with them at your own pace. It could be somebody that is like, here, let me help you, and then they reach in and grab a jar from you and open it for you when you could have gotten it yourself. And they're pretending like they're a victim. Maybe they have some sort of mental health challenge or something, and they're using that as a means of getting you to continue helping them or feeling bad if you try to leave them. But it is hurting you. They're not hurt. It's hurting you. And if you continue to drag yourself behind them to help them, you'll regret it. You're already regretting it, but you're going to regret it more. So it's time to stop pretending that you have this. Stop trying to grab for pentacles only. Time to think. Look before you leap, but recognize you're not always going to have all of the pieces. There's many times when you have to just take a leap of faith, and you don't know if it's going to be the right one, but you can always take another leap of faith towards another situation or a different one if you need to. You can always change your mind, especially when it comes to changing your mind and going towards people that recognize that it's okay to change your mind and recognize that you messed up. But once you realize that it's a good time to be authentic, then you'll find that peace of mind. I'm also going to recommend, if you have a chance to be out in nature, especially around wildflowers, be really good over the next 48 hours. All right, everybody, this was an exceptionally long All Signs 48 reading, but it's been interesting. If you have any specific questions or you'd like a private reading, I leave my email in the description box below. Otherwise, thanks for your likes and subscribes, and I'll see you in the next video.